Breaking NBA news this morning where the Knicks and Timberwolves made it a blockbuster night, finalizing a trade sending Karl-Anthony Towns to New York and Julius Randle and Donte DiVincenzo to Minnesota. That according to what sources confirmed to ESPN. Minnesota also receiving a 2025 top 13 protected first-round pick from New York via the Pistons. But it's the Hornets who are the third team in this trade, helping to make this thing work financially. Talks between the Knicks and Wolves are taking place all summer long, according to what sources tell ESPN. Now, somebody should have told Karl-Anthony Towns because he had just arrived back in Minnesota for training camp, and this trade was a quote-unquote completely unexpected development. That, according to a source familiar with his thinking, telling ESPN's Ramona Shelburne. You see that tweet from Karl-Anthony Towns, just ellipses. Now, we have our Bobby Marks with us this morning to break it down. Bobby, how did this deal come together?
Well, it started cursory talks this summer between Minnesota and New York. You have to remember, Gerson Rosas, who used to work in Minnesota, now works under Leon Rose. And it certainly accelerated over the last 48 hours, certainly with Mitchell Robinson out indefinitely here. And the defection of Isaiah Hartenstein in Oklahoma City and now the Robinson injury left a big void for New York at center.
All right, so what is the Knicks roster going to look like now after bringing in this center, Karl-Anthony Towns, from Minnesota?
Well, I think when you look at the starting lineup, certainly with Karl-Anthony Towns at the center position and likely OG Anunoby at the power forward, this starting lineup can compete with anybody in the Eastern Conference and certainly in the NBA. The big question now is their depth. They lose Donte DiVincenzo to Minnesota. They're really left with Deuce McBride, Cameron Payne, and Tyler Kolek as their backcourt here. So there is some thinness at the backcourt.
All right, so the Wolves now, from their side of things, they made the West Finals last year. Why are they willing to make such a major shakeup with it really a franchise cornerstone and Cat heading to New York?
Well, it's all about roster flexibility here. When you talk to people close to Minnesota, they're confident they are still a top 4 team in the Western Conference, and they can get to a Western Conference Finals again here. They've got DiVincenzo coming off the bench. That helps their young players, including Rob Dillingham. Randall goes to the power forward position. I think the big thing, Randy, with him is, can they keep him long term? Here's a player that has got a player option for next year and could be one of the top free agents.
Only played 46 games last season, did average 24 a game. NBA season starts October 22nd with those Knicks and the Celtics squaring off, and then the Wolves have the Lakers. Bobby Marks, we appreciate you, sir. Odds makers loving this trade for New York. They entered Friday at plus 800 to win the title. After this deal, third shortest odds after the Celtics and the Thunder actually to win the title. That, according to ESPN Bet.
NBA